necessarily those of the staff and management of Salem Media of Hawaii.
Aloha and welcome to Be Fit for Health. This is Bianca, your host, and it's another great day to talk about your health and well-being. And we're just thrilled to be here with all of you today. And, you know, our topics are always random when it comes to different things. We may have like a medical doctor one weekend, and then we may have like a IV therapy practitioner. We may have Kelly on who talks about the electroethoscope with the neurological responses through a machine that she uses. And, you know, we also brought in today's guest before. And the reason why I have repetitive guests is because sometimes when we do a show, it is, it's an education for all of us, but then sometimes we miss things, and even though I do have this on my YouTube for you to re-listen to and relearn some of the things you may have missed, we may get into things a little bit more deeper. And what I wanted to do today's show is dive in a little bit deeper on the topic of essential oils. And I brought in Erika last time, and she is the founder of Oilohawitherika, which is with Young Living. And the reason why I'm bringing her back on again is because she is a wealth of knowledge when it comes to the essence, no pun intended, of the essential oils. And what she knows about it, and she's listening to this, you guys, and what she knows about it is beyond what the average person or even the person that may be into essential oils knows. Because there are some etiquettes to it. Yeah, there's some culture to it. And when you want to really break it down and know what you're ingesting, because there are some essential oils that people do ingest. There are some oils that you actually put on topically to your body. And then there are things that you may use that may be over-the-counter cleaning tools, but you don't know exactly the quality of the content. And just like supplementation, you want to make sure that you're using something that's going to be good for you and it's not going to cause any toxic load after the effect. So let me reintroduce you guys to Erika Eberhart. And she's a founder of Oilohawitherika. Like I said before, she's a certified life coach and a holistic personal trainer whom actually went through my certification course with NCEP. So she is not only a life coach to teach you tricks and trades of life and how to go through the stresses of life, but she can also get you in shape. And then she can also help you with your nutrition. She can help you with your essential oils. So this gal is no joke. Erika, you on?
I am, Bianca. Thank you. Thank you so much for the kind introduction.
No worries.
And thank you for having me back.
I'm excited to have you back because the last time I had you on, we had another guest and I had to cut you short. And I kind of felt like we kind of skimmed the surface of what you were trying to say when it came to therapeutic grade products with essential oils. And I know that you have many background experiences and that brought you to this point. So I want to kind of reintroduce you to the audience as to who you are, what got you to this point today.
Awesome. Well, thanks again so much. I'm super stoked to share my passion for Young Living and just generally health and wellness. And it's always fun to discuss it with you because you're somebody else who is so passionate about helping other people live happier, healthier lives. So here we go, right?
Right.
My name is Erika Eberhart. As Bianca said, I worked for the United States Air Force as a civilian for almost 24 years. And guys, I was too young to retire, so I actually resigned from federal service, right? But after a series of illnesses between 2015 and 16, which just took me totally out for almost a total of 6 months off and on, it was walking pneumonia coupled with bronchitis. And I thought stress-induced asthma. So it just wreaked this havoc on my lungs that has now made me high risk during COVID. I mean, it's just like this number of things. Stress is so bad for you, especially if you just don't address it at its core. So to address it at its core, I walked away from a perfectly great career and had to rebuild myself from the inside out. I had to get my health back up to par. I had to find things that made me really want to get up in the morning and go, rather than hit the snooze button and not want to go to a job I didn't want to do anymore. So the process of about a 7-month journey, I found Young Living. That was 3 years ago this summer. And I just started dabbling in products. And hey, I was like no angel when it came to stuff I put on in my body. I would drink between 7 and 10 Diet Dr. Peppers a day back
Ooh.
then because it was what I could grab and go to a meeting, go to another meeting, go to a meeting. And I was
Wired
wearing
up.
really expensive perfume. Both are toxic on my body, toxic in my body. I mean, so, but yes, all that. And on top of that, I'm also a competitive cyclist. So I was trying to juggle, doing well in races, also teaching spinning for over 20 years. I've taught spinning for over 20 years. And I'm also a personal organizer. But through my journey with Young Living, I started a little fun. I like to play on words. I've got a silly sense of humor. And so I came up with Aloha with a little oil on the front. And our slogan is spreading aloha all over the globe, one drop at a time. And I'm so excited to partner with Bianca on this journey as well. So Young Living has drastically improved my health. And again, from the inside out, I don't drink soda anymore.
Good.
I will tell you right now, this is not a medical claim, but it's my story. I haven't been sick since I left my Air Force job.
Yeah,
I've not even gotten the flu. I just feel really good. I'm well rested. I sleep well at night. So anyway, it's just been an amazing journey, and I learn something new every single day about not just oils, but also the lifestyle, trying to live a chemical-free lifestyle. And so those two things are big passions of mine, and I'm just excited to share with what time we have together on your radio show.
Well, it's funny how the most passionate of service-oriented individuals are the ones who suffered probably the most physically. So I find this really interesting because everybody that I've come across that are like-minded like myself, and the reason why I created the show, and I keep saying this is for selfish reasons, I have fibromyalgia, I have PVCs, I used to have migraines, and I used to have a lot of other issues, but I've been able to, like you, combat it to a level where I am, sustaining a good quality of life to the most part. I do have my flare-ups, and that's only because I've, let's say, had ice cream, dairy, and if I've had ice cream, I sometimes eat a whole pint in one sitting just because it tastes too damn good for me not to. And y'all can relate, right? But after I do that, I break out, I have inflammation, I have heat in my body and those kinds of things. But because of those experiences, like you, I've looked into supplement companies. So I partnered with USANA. I've looked into certification companies, which I certified myself with NCEP and then became their teacher here in Hawaii. And now I'm looked into essential oils, and I partnered with you because I really feel like essential oils has a place along with proper nutrition, proper exercise, and proper supplementation in the chemical sense. And I think essential oils is the essence of a lot of the plants and leaves of a lot of botanicals that are out there that gives us the nutrients that our body needs in a different way. So I brought you on because you are the expert. I'm learning as we speak because I'm forcing myself to learn as much as I can. There's so many to really understand and what it does, but you got to teach us the common denominator if you can of what essential oils do. And I know I have my reference book to kind of share with people later on as far as the medicinal factors. There is nothing that we can say here today, and I know you agree upon this, that will say that this is the answer to be all. We will never make a claim on anything on the show unless it's a doctor saying it.
Right.
Because you and I are not doctors. We are definitely health experts because we have certifications to prove that. But
yes.
I want to share with everyone because people don't understand still essential oils. They think lavender, ooh, that smells good. It's like, aromatherapy for the room. It makes you feel, comfortable and calm, and they're true. But there's so much more that lavender does, or there's so much more that peppermint does. And we're going to dive into that in this show.
That sounds fantastic. Yeah, you just brought up a fun thing about supplements. You're hit the nail on the head too. When I was working with the Air Force, and I need to just state really quick, it was a wonderful career. Any of my Air Force buddies out there who might be listening to this, it was just such a gift to be able to serve our country as a civilian. It's just my body wasn't taking the stress anymore, so clearly I had to go. But supplements, I mean, I was popping like capsules from Amazon and Whole Foods, and again, what I could get quickly without doing my due diligence and taking the time that I didn't have anyway, educate myself. you watch advertisements on TV, stuff pops up on your cookies on your computer, and you grab what looks easy and looks
Right.
relatively affordable. I don't know if you've seen this, but I mean, there is one major brand of Centrum that I read a study years and years ago where a guy in like, I don't know, somewhere in the Northeast had his septic tank drained, and they found like all of his daily vitamins in there, and you could even read the brands on them. I mean, it's a hot minute ago, years and years. I'm sure there've been other studies since then, but have you seen stuff like that with your expertise
No,
in
yeah. So
supplementation and your
yeah, that's the thing. Because, over the counter supplements that you may get at certain drugstores and things like that, they may be fine. The problem is there's a lot of fillers in them. The quality of that
right,
product is not as good as you think. And, unfortunately, not all medical doctors are savvy to supplementation. Some of them don't even believe in taking supplements because they feel like your foods that you're eating is enough. But unfortunately, the minerals in our soil is not as quality as it used to be. So you're not getting the resources from the foods in the enrichment of the quality of the food as you used to, maybe back in, your grandparents' time. But, right now,
right.
supplementation it's varies. And there is a company that it's a third party verification company called NutriScience. This company went to every single 1,500 different types of supplements out there in the community, talking from, Puritan's Pride to Maluka to whatever. And they just graded them, no bias, nothing. And they found that there's only 3 companies that held a certain ethics, whether it's the way it produced in the laboratories and the potency of the supplement as to what they're claiming it to be. And I know that for a fact because of this, one of these publications is that USANA is in the top 3 in the world when it comes to the purification. It's 93.6% potent, and the laboratory that they use is FDA laboratory, so it's FDA approved laboratory. So meaning that everything that they do in that laboratory is based off of a strategic program that the FDA has placed in their business. So with that being said, I'm comfortable taking USANA. But with Centrum, they did a study. They took different supplements and they took an apple, they put them in a petri dish, they put the supplement in the petri dish and they left it alone for 7 days. They came back after 7 days to see what state the apples were in. And I can say that USANA's apple looked like it was brand new because the antioxidant factors, the NRF2 factor, NRF2 is basically helps to get rid of free radical damage, oxidative stress, right? So when you cut an apple in half, eventually the apple turns brown, right? Well, because the supplement is an antioxidant and helps with oxidative stress, it actually preserved the apple from turning brown. That's huge. Centrum was black.
Wow.
Centrum was black. I mean, that thing was rotting so badly that even if you didn't put the Centrum in there, probably would have done better. Let me put it that way. It's just,
Oh my gosh.
and it's not me saying this as a disclaimer. This is science put into practice to show what supplements are. So if you're gonna take a supplement, make sure you know what you're taking, where you're getting it from. Ask questions to the people that are selling it to you, and if you don't have the answers to it, do your homework, because just like food, like junk food, like fast food, you put that in your body, it's going to be toxic load for your system because your liver can't process things it doesn't recognize. It stores it as fat. And when it stores it as fat, it's toxin. And your lymphatic system can't process it and get rid of it. So then you become slowly but surely not well. And that's not what we want.
Right.
And same thing with essential oils. I think for you, you're a big advocate on this. Just don't take any essential oil. I mean, there are different grades. I think you
Right.
sent me once a pyramid of the levels of different types of quality of just like we did with USANA, of a quality of essential oils. There is 4 levels, right? You can explain that to them since I'm
Yeah,
not a pro.
there are. No, I mean, I think that it's really actually a good segue because they go hand in hand. I mean, what we're talking about here with supplementation is the bioavailability. You put fillers and stuff, the more fillers you put in to make a profit and less than the power punch of the specific supplement, the less the consumer is going to get out of that, and the absorption rate is going to be less, right? Well, the same is with essential oils. I mean, the essential oils really are aromatic, volatile liquids that you're going to find in most shrubs, flowers, trees, roots, bushes, and seeds, guys. It's really cool. And even to get that liquid out, it's the only way you really want to get it out without disturbing the constituents is by steam distillation, which is no easy feat if you do it the right way. And if you do it the right way, that essential oil will become what's called 100% pure therapeutic grade, which will be anywhere. Now, I don't know, you're a numbers girl, Bianca, woman, I should say. We're both in the 50s club now together.
Thanks for letting people know. God, Erika, you're fired, man.
That means we're. Give me 45 more minutes. I'm just kidding. No, that means we're wise, and now they're going to really want to listen, right?
Yeah, exactly.
We've been around. We've been around the block.
It's okay. I'm on video. No, I'm hoping people are going to go, what?
No, see, so if you supplement correctly, you can look as good as Bianca when you are
a
there you go. Veteran of
there
the health and wellness industry. There we go. Now you're not going to fire me.
You're back. You're hired back.
If you do it the right, I love you. If you do it the right way, though, that therapeutic grade essential oil can be anywhere from 100 to 10,000 times more concentrated than the actual plant it comes from. So that leads us to that pyramid that I sent you, which I love visuals too. You got four. If people that remember the old school food pyramid, right? It's if you imagine, picture that, the top is going to be your grade A, which are therapeutic, 100% pure therapeutic grade oils, which are safe for a human being to put on your body and in your system to actually ingest it. And again, that's the big caution there. I'm not saying go ingest something you're going to buy from Costco or Ross. I had that friend call me and say, I'm getting ready to put peppermint in my bottle. I'm like, did you get it from us? They're like, no, I got it at Ross. I'm like, no. Put it in your bottle. Because then you go to like natural food grade, which is, or it could be organic. This is where it's kind of like the Wild West when it comes to essential oils in the United States. There's not a whole lot of guidelines on it by the FDA yet. So it could say it's an organic oil, but you're going to read the fine print, guys, on the label that says steer clear of, don't ingest, see a medical professional if you've ingested, et cetera. You might not want to put that on your body either. That's grade B, national food grade. Then you got grade C, perfume grade, which makes up, are you ready for this number, Bianca? 98% of all essential oils produced around the world today qualify as perfume or cosmetic grade essential oils. That is like, I'm a numbers girl. That is from my mind. I've done research. Only 2% fall in the therapeutic grade. So really 98% can be anywhere from grade B, C, and floral waters, which are like low quality, but only 2% of oils on the market globally.
Is it because they're not being distilled properly, or is it because they're being, is it the way that they're manufacturing, it's making the quality not so good?
It's a really great question. The big word we use when it comes to oils that could even still be labeled therapeutic, because there could be false labeling, but basically an oil becomes adulterated if it's not distilled in a proper way, meaning there can be chemicals involved in the distillation process. What a lot of manufacturers will do to make an extra buck, or maybe because they don't have the best part of the plant distilled, is they'll add fillers. It can be different oils, different parts of the plant, anything to take that actual part of the plant and stretch the volume in the bottle and maybe charge less money or maybe not. And it's just scary what's out there. So just like in any sort of procurement somebody might be thinking about when you go buy a TV or a car or a new phone, or you're looking at school for your child or a school district for your child, people do their due diligence. I just don't think a lot of times we're back to my sodas that I drank, and perfume that I was wearing all the time. I don't think we a lot of times put the time and effort into doing our due diligence and really researching things we're putting on it in our bodies. And it doesn't just affect us. It affects, like, if you're going to pick up your pet, it'll affect your pet. If you're going to
the essential oils.
Your child, or
true. Yeah, you don't know.
You're affecting. If you put that on, you jump in the ocean. I mean, it's just like what we do to ourselves has an effect on so much more than just our bodies and our health and wellness. But we have to start with us first, right? So,
well, isn't it true? Like
the
perfumes,
big picture is.
Perfumes can cause headaches, right? So those are, to some degree, the high-end perfumes, like the really expensive ones from France, whatever, they say they have oils in them, right? And they're perfumed oils, right?
Right.
And we put that on,
right.
And it smells great, but then your child and your animal, who are very sensitive, are being rubbed when you hug them or what have you, get these perfumes on them, and then it makes them ill because it's too strong for their senses. It causes maybe headaches, makes them nauseous, or it just doesn't make him feel well. And we don't really pay attention to these little things in our lives, because it's not that priority, right? We don't think about these things. But if you think about the chemical composition, the way that our bodies are made neurologically and chemically, when you smell something, that's part of our sensory system, that's part of our information system for our body. When you smell something and you taste something, your body interprets that, and the way that it interprets it and the way that it allows to absorption, because it's trying to figure out what it is that it's interpreting. What is it that you've just touched or smelled or tasted? It can cause a chemical dysfunction. And to that level, people might say, well, you're what are you talking about, Bianca? I mean, think about it. We have how many senses in our body, right? So there's,
5.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's a great question.
yeah, so you got smell and taste, and then you've got, feel. You got those 3 out of the 5, can be utilized through smell and taste and feel is all part of the essential conversation we're having. So perfumes,
Right.
chemicals that you're using in your house. You're not thinking about your pets or your kids. You're cleaning with Clorox. Yeah, you're killing the bacteria. Thank God you're killing the bacteria. But what is the residue like? Because your kids play on the floor, your dogs are on the floor, they're rolling around on this chemical. You're saying, well, it's evaporated, Bianca. No, but what if your child licks the floor? Because kids do that, right? They don't really think about it. They're licking the floor, they're licking the wall, they're licking, their pets are licking them. It's like you don't know what they're ingesting. So eventually through time, maybe not initially, it's a buildup of toxic load. And toxic load has become the new medical conversation in people having issues. If you want to detox, be careful of detoxing, because you can get really sick, because all
Right.
that has been in your system for how many years? Now you've got to try to get that out of your body through the lymphatic system. Let me tell you, you can't do it that easily. And this is why we're having this conversation about essential oils, because essential oils, like you were saying, it has a way of being cultivated. And Young Living has that seed to seal program, correct?
Right. That's our guarantee. That's kind of our quality standard that no one else in the industry has. And globally, no one has. That's where we're known as the world's leader in essential oils. We have what's called the seed to seal. So people can go into www and just type seed, SEED, like a plant, the seed of a plant, TO, so 2, seal, SEAL.com. And that will be all the information someone would need to see why seed to seal is actually above and beyond the quality of an organic product. The organic product has to come from soil that's been cleaned for at least 7 years, but our soil has been cleaned for at least 50 plus years.
Wow.
We actually hand weed, but to be considered organic, you can actually use synthetics with hand weeding. Do you know that if you want to control pests in our quality standard, we only use essential oils to control pests, and we also plant plants that attract the pests away from the plants that we're using to cultivate for oils. Whereas because they're organic, you can use approved synthetics for pest control. And an organic label does not require third-party testing, so it can be self-certified by the manufacturer. And seed to seal, we have a third-party testing that's required. So it's really a pretty beautiful thing. I mean, data is hard to, it's very transparent if you go to that website. But the bottom line is that you're going to get what you pay for.
Right.
Back to the perfume thing, you really totally hit something dear to my heart. When I worked for the government, I also mentioned that I was wearing perfume all the time. Perfume on my body, Dr. Pepper in my body, all day, every day. That's what I did. I love perfume, and I am.
You were wired and you smelled great.
I was wired. I thought I smelled good, right? I mean, God forbid people that were in meetings with me daily were probably getting headaches, because perfume and cologne, guys, that is a proprietary kind of name. The word fragrance, which is found in like most of our household products, we're not really being careful. So the word fragrant is it covers approximately 250 chemicals. One fragrance, whether it's a cologne or perfume, if you read the back of a 7th generation, I did this recently in Whole Foods, 7th generation dish detergent, says that the fragrances come from essential oils. Well, the word fragrance means there are chemicals in it. You've got to really be careful. So the big picture is if you look at the, I think your initial going into this part, this segue of the conversation was about getting headaches and the kiddos and our fur babies. And if somebody comes to me and says, I had a headache from wearing an essential oil, first of all, you look at the quality of the essential oil. I'm telling you right now, if it's 100% pure, therapeutic grade essential oil, minus somebody having a weird, but tried and true. If somebody's got an allergy to peppermint, for example, then they probably don't want to use any kind of peppermint on their body, or maybe even not diffuse it or in their body. I'm not going to tell somebody if they're allergic that because our oils are so darn good that it's safe even though they have an allergy. No, like that goes out the window. However, let's say, Bianca, the last time you peeled an orange, did it give you a headache?
No.
Yeah, because who gets a headache from peeling an orange?
Nobody.
But if someone diffuses orange oil or puts it on their body and they tell me that they have a headache, I'm going to say, well, first of all, look at the quality. If it's our orange oil, here's a really crazy, interesting thing. And I'm not super great at chemistry. It was my worst subject in high school. Hence, I did not study science in college.
Yeah, I wasn't good at chemistry either. Major. I wish I could go back there. I think I'd be good now.
I was like, I think we probably would have an added zest for that.
Yeah.
That type of subject now is how we've progressed in our lives. But back then I didn't. However, studying essential oils and just learning on the daily about the human body, and I have really become enamored by different reactions we might get. So, for example, if somebody puts orange on their body, and I know the only oils I use are Young Living now. I used to order them in pre-Young Living. I used to order them on Amazon and get them at Whole Foods. I prefer ours now, hands down. So they put our orange oil on their body, or they drink it, or they put it in a diffuser, all according to what we recommend for a protocol, and they get a headache or they get a rash. That actually can be because essential oils can help bring chemicals out of your body. So let's, for example, somebody put on a skin lotion they got at Long's on sale. And Long's, I love Long's, so I'm supporting local, right?
Yep.
But let's say it had chemicals in it, but then they put orange oil on for their fragrance of the day, for the therapeutic benefits, because this is really a happy, uplifting oil. And they got a little bit of a rash, or they felt discomfort, or they got a little bit of headache. That can all be because of the chemical reaction of a 100% pure therapeutic grade oil pulling chemicals out of our system. So that goes back to talking about detoxifying, right?
Yeah,
I mean, it's really incredible. Guys, these essential oils, they track the use of essential oils back to 4,500 BC.
Well, so 4,500 BC? Oh, that makes sense, though. The Egyptians used a lot of oils. So did the Greeks.
Yes. Oh, my God. I can't believe. Yeah. So the Egyptians, all the research I've done to date, the Egyptians are where they think the Egyptians really nailed it first. Like when King Tut's tomb was found, they went through everything. He
Greek, right?
still had all of his. Yeah. Well, here's the crazy thing. I get chicken skin right now. They stole. They didn't steal. He had a ton of gold and money in there. Guess what they stole? All the oils. He was buried with oils.
Oh, wow.
They took the oils out of the containers, but they left all of his wealth in there. The oils were considered the wealth back then.
Yeah.
Cleopatra used to sail. They put the oils on her sail so you could actually smell. Like people would put oils on her sails when they would sail, so people would smell them coming into the harbors. I mean, the history behind essential oils is amazing. Well, however, we feel like it's so new now because there's a big lapse in time, right? If you go back to Europe in the 1500s, there's a ton of research, and there's a lot of historical data from that part of the world too when it comes to essential oils, and a lot of French aromatherapists have written books that are still sought after today.
Well, what did they have back then, really? I mean, think about it, to help people get better. You know, when people got sick, they would make teas, just like the Chinese medicine, right? They'd make teas out of roots and flowers and leaves and things like that for people to get better. So essential oils would make sense too for them to use for therapeutic reasons, putting on the body, you know, whether it was skin disorders or if they had headaches or things like that. I would assume back in those days, medicine was basically pure botanical. And you know, maybe they figured out a way to get the oils out through boiling for a long period of time or what have you, but water or what have you. I don't even know. But it does make sense to me. And you had mentioned something also in another study about essential oils, which rings true to me because I'm so much into energy medicine. And energy medicine deals with frequency. And frequency is about what we're made
Yes.
of, because our bodies are made out of frequency based on the neurological response in how they conduct themselves in different areas of the body. So the brain has a different frequency when you sleep, and then it has a different frequency when you're awake. So that I would assume, so if you're smelling an essential oil, and let's say it's lavender, it's going to bring down your frequency to a level where you're almost at GABA or delta level where you're resting and relaxed. So your body then becomes less stressed, correct?
Yeah, well, absolutely. You hit the nail on the head again with the topic
That's
of
because I'm
frequency
smart,
is
man.
really
Come
a
on.
beautiful thing. Now I'm so older than you.
By 2 months.
By 2 months.
Hey,
Respect your
listen,
elders.
guys, the reason why
No,
we're talking
yeah,
about, wait, really quick, side note. The reason why we're talking about our age so much is because she and I both turned 50 this year. My birthday just passed a couple of weeks ago, and hers was in a couple months ago, right? And so during
yeah,
this
mid-July.
pandemic, with our luck, we both had a shutdown during our birthdays, so we really couldn't do anything for our big birthday or 50 years old. So we're constantly plugging that age in whenever we can. But it's funny because it's like, you're telling people how old you are. It's not a good thing for women. Come on, Erika.
Okay, super side note, Bianca, have you noticed it? My flashback, when you turn 21, people are like, awesome, you're 21. You turn 30, people say, oh, you look good. You turn 40, they say, you look good for your age. You turn 50, like, oh my gosh, you're 50?
I'm like, what is that supposed to mean?
That's like
I
the
know.
progression.
No, they give me a blank
progression.
look. Yeah, they're like, what? You're 50? Oh, okay, bye. I'm like, bye. Nice knowing you. Okay. Terrible. That's such ageism, isn't it? It's
Bye.
ageism. I swear.
Oh, I know.
But
the good thing is we both vibrated a super high frequency, right? I mean, they say the human body is between a healthy human body. I'm telling Bianca stuff she knows, but in case any of your listeners don't know this, it's 62 to 70 megahertz. That's what's the healthy human body. That's where we want to be vibrating. And that if you get around 50 something anywhere, let's just say you slip under 60, that's when we're more susceptible to getting sick. If you slip below 50, that's when other things like cancer and other ugly little things want to come and pay us a visit. So ideally, whatever we can do to keep our frequency between 62 and 70, you're like, well, how do I do that? Well, there are a lot of things. There's, you can seek out a wellness coach or a personal trainer like Bianca, and you can talk to them about your food and your diet and your exercise thoughts, like if you're into meditation, yoga, etc. But another way is by using essential oils, like in fact, the quality of the essential oils. I will tell you 3 of the highest, and I'm going to talk about one that's a single that you can get, if you're not like a young living fan, you go out there and you find something that you find equally is high in quality. Rose, 320 megahertz.
Wow. I love rose. Yeah.
And oh yeah, me too. And then we have got 2 amazing blends. One's called Forgiveness at 192 megahertz, and then we've got Joy that rings in at 188 megahertz. You asked about lavender. Yeah, lavender is 118. And the really cool thing about lavender, Bianca, that I just learned last December. So 2.5 years after finding Young Living and joining them and partnering as a business, I was like, I had no idea. I thought lavender was sleepy time, chill me out. It's been said that lavender is a Swiss Army knife of essential oils. Now, the cool thing about lavender is it listens to your biorhythm. So let's say Bianca gets up in the morning and she's got to kill it. She's got a lot to plan for her next radio show. She's taking care of her 2 fur babies. She's got a lot on her plate. If you use lavender, Bianca, it actually makes you more focused and gives you energy in the morning.
Oh, that's interesting.
Use it in the evening when your body, I know, right? If you use it in the evening when your body wants to rest, well, most of us, somebody works at night, it might give them focus at night, right? But for you, and you get ready to turn in, and you want to read, and you want to just chill, you diffuse lavender, put some on the bottom of your feet. Our lavender is actually approved by the FDA to consume. You can actually make lavender tea at night. So yeah, our lavender, a really good lavender, will affect you based on your biorhythm. But it's just, the frequency is the whole new cool thing. And anybody can go online and Google frequency of essential oils, go to images. You're going to pull up all kinds of charts that shows you, and you can just get a few baseline single oils that will help you on your journey.
That's crazy, though. That's like it's a whole new element to understanding maybe even food. I mean, the foods that you consume probably also affect your body's ability to you can communicate properly, because frequency is communication, is it not? I mean, that's basically what it comes down to. Definition: frequency is communication in a higher pitch or higher component. And so the nervous system, for people who have issues like arthritis or inflammatory issues, or have like me, fibromyalgia, essential oils then make sense to me, because then it's non intrusive. It's not it's not like pharmaceutical. It's natural, especially if it's a high therapeutic grade like the Young Living brand. So for me, it's like, I'm trying to not promote a company. I'm trying to promote an awareness of what you're doing right now with essential oils, because you guys are out there doing what you think is right. And I applaud you for trying to get your hands around something that is going to be good for your body. But remember what we talked about with Centrum supplement versus a USANA product that is a different grade quality. If you take something into your body, you're now working with or against your chemistry. Your body may reject it, or it may cause more toxic in your system. And the last thing you want to do is cause more toxin in your system, because then your cells can't repair it, or may be open to receiving more illnesses. And that's something we want to try to avoid, right?
Absolutely right. I mean, you're totally spot on all accounts. It's really important. Everything's kind of a domino effect, right?
Well, let's talk about lavender, since you talked about lavender. So what does lavender do? So it's got a medical properties. It's an antiseptic, antifungal, anti-allergenic. It's anti-terminal, which is, assuming it's for tumors and things like that. Anticonvulsant. It's a relaxant, anti-inflammatory, reduces blood, fat, cholesterol, combats excessive sebum on the skin. So it's used for respiratory infections, high blood pressure. It's used for menstrual problems, PMS, skin conditions, repairs acne, eczema, psoriasis, scarring, stretch marks, and yada, 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 and hair loss, which is a lot of people over the age of 50 have problems with, and your nervous tension. So, look, it's got uses for not just for one thing. It's got uses for multiple things. And this isn't something that I'm making up, guys. I'm reading it from a book that is not a Young Living's. It's Essential Oils Pocket Reference. It's by Life Science. It's a product that's been published out there for people to use as a guide. And it's just giving you a rundown on what it does and how it is working for the body. It can relax, like Erika said, or it can keep you energized and awake and alert. So, let's dive into some other ones. I mean, we talked about peppermint, right? Or let's talk about the lemon. You gave me a tidbit yesterday about lemon, and how many lemons does it take to have one drop of essential lemon oil?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so everybody out there, imagine going into your local grocery store and piling 25 lemons, the best quality lemon you can get, by the way, in a bag, and cashing out. I'm just guessing it's going to cost you quite a bit of money. We have 25 lemon rinds. Lemon rind is the most nutritious part. It's just the skin nutritious part of a lemon.
Yeah.
Even though we don't go like nibble on that, do we? We suck the pulp out maybe if it's dipped in our tea at a restaurant, right? So 25 lemon rinds being distilled to make a 5 milliliter bottle of Young Living lemon oil, which is also FDA approved. So, I mean, people can take that to a restaurant once restaurants are full and open, right? Again, instead of asking for a lemon wedge,
you can put a drop.
Just therapeutically great for you. Yeah, the lemons, I mean, a total side note, but if you want to Google something when you're not eating dinner or breakfast or lunch, Google restaurant lemons dirty and just
it's
read
nasty.
the articles yourself.
It's terrible.
So gross, man. I'm like, so it's just a great way to, again, especially during COVID or any other time where you just want to make sure you're staying on the up and up with what you're putting inside your body. Lemon's a great one to have when you travel, but lemon is super uplifting. So if you get a 5 ml bottle, it's 25 lemons. Our other bottle is like a 15 ml bottle, 75 lemons. And when you open the bottle, guys, it smells like you literally just crushed a lemon and just stuck your nose in it. It's just so delightful. And if you compare that to another lemon you might find on the market, you're going to be smelling something that might smell more like those lemon cream cookies that you might have gotten at daycare when you're growing up. And you notice why I'm talking about this, right? The sense of smell, something that most of us can't turn off. Something that, I mean, a lemon cream cookie reminds me of a daycare in Germany my parents dropped me off at when they'd go out on a Friday night. My dad was an active duty, he was an Air Force pilot. And I remember so vividly those lemon cookies. I hate them. I won't even eat them to this day. If I smell a cheap or low quality or adulterated lemon oil, I think about the daycare on base in Germany that I went to when I was like 5.
Yeah, those create memories.
So, isn't it crazy, right?
Yeah.
So hopefully all our memories about smells, most of them are happy. So lemon oil, again, you start to compare this what you would put in your body. I know that earlier in this conversation you mentioned, hey, look at the foods, how they could change your frequency. Absolutely. I'm going to tell you, when's the last time you went to Whole Foods or Down to Earth, and that's a local store here for folks who don't live in Hawaii, the local store similar to Whole Foods, and you bought basil. I know, Bianca, you're super into your herbs and stuff. And like, let's say that 2 days later you went to use your basil and basil's not looking so beautiful. Basil looks like you put it in a petri dish with your Centrum, right? Basil's like all mad because if you don't use it right away, it's going to go, yeah. But if you use our basil oil, which has a ton of therapeutic benefits you could pull out of that book, and let's say that your recipe calls for 1 tablespoon of basil, you're using 4 drops, only 4 drops of basil oil. And it doesn't expire. Our oils have 0 expiration date. People say that they go rancid. You can leave it on your windowsill in the sun. It's not going to go rancid. It might just evaporate a little bit faster over time, but there's no expiration date. And that's the same with a lemon. I mean, lemons don't last forever. They might last a good week on your windowsill. But if you want to have something, I know sometimes garnishing looks pretty, but if you want the therapeutic benefit in and on your body, then you need just to find the best therapeutic, pure essential oil for you.
Well, I know that basil helps with migraines and throat and lung infections and insect bites. And, it's got powerful anti-inflammatory muscle relaxant. It's got a lot of great properties. And that's why I like basil, because of all of the muscle relaxant part of it, because of my fibromyalgia. So I try to grow basil in my kitchen. I don't have a green thumb. I'm killing every single plant that I have in my house. I have skills, but that's not one of them. But yeah, I mean, that would make it easier for someone like me who wants to ingest these herbs, but can't grow them because I live in an apartment and I don't have sunshine coming through. So, you want the benefits of something that's going to be very good for you. So I think something like the lemon, and the basil and, clove is another good one, right? That's another antibacterial component that helps with so many levels. And I know that we have, that product that you guys have with Young Living is Thieves, and it's you can use it I used it for a cold sore yesterday. I had a canker sore in my mouth on side of my cheek, which tells me that my body's a little stressed. So I put it on my cheek, and the pain went away. I was excited.
Yeah, clove is that. Clove is. I know it's really pretty amazing. You go back to way before people had access to pharmaceuticals, and not saying don't take your medicine. I'm just part of the conversation that Bianca was referring to earlier. Was when people way back in the day had an issue, a medical issue, they dealt with it with some sort of herb or an essential oil that they were able to extract the way they did back then. And when people had issues with like anything in their mouth, pulling a tooth extraction, canker sore, anything, they would put clove directly on it. It's a natural anesthetic.
Yep.
So it helps to control any sort of discomfort you might have. And that is in Young Living's magical Thieves blend, that cinnamon bark, which has a ton of health properties to it as well. Clove, rosemary, lemon, and eucalyptus. It's all power pack of 5 oils. Yeah, the reason they named it Thieves, I think I told you this a while back, is because back in the 1500s during the Black Plague, that nasty pandemic back then in Europe, they, specifically in France, they found these grave robbers who, it's an amazing story, who were robbing the dead and dying of anything they had that was worth value, and they weren't getting sick. And the story that Gary Young, Young Living's founder, was discovered was that the King of France had a bunch of them captured and said, I'm still going to punish you, but I'll spare your life if you tell me what you're using to not get sick. And it was this little blend that they put together that included those 5 oils. That's why Young Living has kind of trademarked the name Seed to apply to those 5 oils
Oh,
together.
that's a
And
cool story.
I
That's
mean,
cool.
I drink 3 drops a day just because it makes me feel like Teflon.
Right.
I like it. It tastes good, and it obviously helped you yesterday with your, mouth owie.
We're 5. So here's the thing. I'm running out of time. I'm running out of time again. You've got too many stories and too many good stuff to share with us, and it sucks that I'm running short with time. But I want to do 2 things with you, and I know I cut you short, so I apologize for that. One thing is answer this
No worries.
question: does the oils of Young Living, do they expire or get rancid at all, or do they last a long
They do
time?
not. They last a long time. We have over 300 singles and blends, and there are some that have a carrier oil in it. We have a whole line for children, and called the Kid Sense, and we also have that oil for babies. Baby products, but most of them don't have a carrier oil in them, so most of them won't never expire. Now, the ones that have a little bit of carrier oil in them, I tend to use those faster. They still don't have an expiration date on them, and I've never had any of mine go rancid. So
That's
I had
awesome.
somebody who took different brands and put them on their windows and their dashboard of their car, parked it on the roof of Nordstrom at El Moana for a month, and the only one for oils that did not go rancid. She did a little study. She works at Nordstrom. Was Young Living.
Nice. Okay, that's good to know, because now you're not wasting your money. You're not getting something that's going to go spoil in, let's say, a year if you don't refrigerate it or what have you, right? So that's good. The other thing is, what are the therapeutic benefits? Like, how quickly can you feel the benefits of putting in, let's say, ingesting topically and diffusing the product? Like, how quickly can the body resonate with it?
I'm so glad you asked that question. So let's go to your story yesterday about putting the seeds on your canker sore. Okay, so if you put it in essential oil, basically, there are 3 ways it can affect you. You can use them 3 ways. You can ingest, and again, you do your due diligence and make sure that the oil that you're thinking about putting in your body has been approved by the FDA for human consumption. Young Living have. Just make sure if you're looking at other brands, it's safe. Ingest, so orally, aromatically, so you can smell it out of the bottle. Put it in your hands. Do a clockwise motion, and then cup your hands around your nose and your mouth, and inhale, exhale. Aromatically, also in a cold water diffuser, or you can do it topically, so on your body. So anywhere your pulse points, your Vitaflex on your feet, hands, and ears. When you put an essential oil on your body, here's how long it takes to affect. Now, you have 30 trillion cells in a human body, guys. 22 seconds for the molecules to reach your brain. 2 minutes for the molecules to be in your bloodstream and check it. I just said 30 trillion cells, right?
Yeah. 20
minutes for the molecules to infect every cell in your body.
Wow. That's fast. And that's just from smelling it?
That kind of wraps. It can be, it can be anything. It can be aromatically, topically, ingesting.
Ah, wow. That's fast. Yeah, that's pretty
really
fast.
Cool.
Yeah.
And I mean, that goes back to, your frequencies and all the other stuff. I mean, really, that was a really great question for, as we wrap this up, because it kind of wraps everything we discussed up in how you can take it to the next level with essential oils. I'm not on here to, so it's not, hey, everybody should be buying Young Living at all. Back to what you said about the supplements. It's really just to help people get educated. It's taken me a long time to learn what I've learned, and I'm still learning, and I still want to learn more.
Yeah.
Obviously, why stop learning? That's what the fun of living is. So,
is there
a
way for people to get a hold of you, Erika, if they need to get a hold of you? Like, if they have any questions and you want to learn more? I mean, you and I are on the same page with things, but I think it's great to have somebody, because you're such an expert. How can they contact you?
Absolutely. I'm totally cool with people calling or texting me. I've got no problem at all with anybody. If they want to just dial it or text 808-349-3799. So I'll repeat one more time, 808-349-3799. And I think that's probably the easiest. I can also use my email. Do you want my email as well?
Sure.
Okay. Email is oilohawitherika@gmail.com. OILOHAWITHERIKA gmail.com.
Perfect.
Oilohawitherika@gmail.com. And I'm very responsive. This is kind of my full-time gig, health, wellness, and advocacy for just living a happier, healthier life.
Well, I have to say goodbye to you because I have to do a really quick short break and then I got to do my closing statements. But I want to say thank you so much for your time and your education. It's been a thrill. And I know at some point in the near future, we'll do this again because I think this knowledge is important for people to understand. I want to give you a lot of kudos for giving us as much of your time as you have today. I wasn't expecting this much time, but I appreciate all of your time. So I know you're busy. So thank you, Erika. I'll keep in touch with you.
I love you, sister, and
right.
Thanks everybody for listening. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you. All right, you guys, we'll be right back with a really quick break.
The Honolulu Club is still here for you. We are providing the safest workout conditions on the island, with modified safe distancing indoor and outdoor classes, large open work floor with clean sanitized machines and free weights. Let the Honolulu Club be your one and only fitness destination. Go to honoluluclub.com and fill out the trial pass today.
Have you heard of microcurrent therapy? If you suffer from chronic pain, arthritis, sports injuries, ligament injuries, or migraines, the electroechoscope can help. This non-invasive treatment system is drug-free and shows no negative side effects. If you are seeking pain relief and want to boost your immune system, schedule a demonstration or consultation by calling Kelly, your microcurrent electrotoxologist, at 485-9697 or follow on Instagram at Kelly's Time. Make your appointment today.
And we're back. Thanks, guys. I know the commercial came at the end of the show because we had so much to talk about. I wanted to get it all in. And I didn't want you guys to stop listening to this information because it is such a new thing for all of us to kind of embrace when it comes to how do we package essential oils with our foods and supplementation and our healthy lifestyle. So here's the thing. If you guys have any questions regarding that, I have on my website, befit4health.com. I'll have an icon on there that will have the Young Living picture, or maybe a picture of me holding an oil. I haven't really quite decided that yet, but it's always fun. Go on to my website, go find that icon on the front page, click it on. It will send you to a page where it'll ask you to register. Once you've registered, you can go through the entire oil system. It'll explain what it does, what it's good for. And then you can go on there and pick what you want. If you have any questions before you even do all that, go ahead and contact me. There is a contact page where you can fill out a question and I'll respond back to you immediately within 24 hours, the latest. But I want you guys to be educated before you do anything, because that's my biggest goal here on the show, is to give you the information. You decide what you want to do with it. If you're interested in the supplementation too, let me know about that too, because there is a lot of products on there that are really good for cellular regenerating, cellular communication, absorbing nutrients. Because a lot of times we eat good stuff, we take supplements and our bodies can't absorb it. So there's a reason for that. So it's a matter of miscommunication in our system. And I want to help educate you on how to do that. So I am a health coach. I do support people with their endeavors for fitness when it comes to exercise. I also help people with when it comes to what they should eat and how they should eat and, other things that comes with our health issues. So please contact me. Let me know what I can do for you. This show is here to help you and guide you to the best possible quality of life that you can have. And I'm here for you always. I want to wish you all the best. Have a great rest of your day. And please make sure that you guys take care of each other, support each other. And, remember, this too shall pass when it comes to all the things that we're dealing with in our society. We will get through this together as long as we're kind and supportive and thoughtful and considerate of each other. I can't imagine why we wouldn't have a easier time getting through this hardship. So stay positive, guys. I'm here for you. I wish you all the best. Take care. Aloha.